Mama helped Rosa and Eddie bundle up in their uncomfortable but warm wool clothes. Wool clothes are usually worn during winter and they're uncomfortable because usually they're big and heavy. When they got outside, they were astonished and amazed to find a wall of snow several feet high. So they were astonished. Astonished means surprised or amazed. As you can see, they already gave you a clue here. To see that the snow was so high, actually, it was blocking things. Luckily, their neighbor, Mr. Colon, arrived with 2 metal shovels. What are shovels? This is a shovel, as you can see in the illustration. It is used to dig sand or to dig snow. So the neighbor came with 2 of these shovels in order for them to dig. Who wants to help dig out? He asked. Mama, Rosa, and Eddie took turns shoveling snow. It was hard work, but no one fussed or complained. Fussed also means complained. It means no one was accusing and no one was saying, I don't want to do this, it's so much work. No, nobody complained. When they were done, they looked across the street. Maria's market was still snowed in. As you can see, this is Maria's market, and there was still snow. It was still snowed in, meaning there was still snow like in the entrance, so people probably could not get in. It was still snowed in. Mrs. Sanchez, the owner, was trying to clear the snow with a small broom. So she had a little broom, as you can see, and she was trying to clean the snow with a broom. Mr. Colon, may we borrow your shovels, por favor? Por favor means please in Spanish, so we can tell that all these characters are actually really from Spain, or they're Spanish, or Mexicans probably, because Mexico also speaks Spanish. Asked Rosa, I think we need to give Mrs. Sanchez a hand. Look at this statement. Give Mrs. Sanchez a hand. Were they really gonna give Mrs. Sanchez their hands? No, what is this phrase? It's an idiom. Very good. It's an idiom. And we talked about idioms before. An idiom is a group of words that actually don't make sense when you just read them like that, but they actually have a meaning. So in this case, to give a hand means to help. They wanted to help. When you give someone a hand, you help them out. Okay? Next page. Page 423 now. Shoveling the walk in front of the store was easy. It was a piece of cake for Rosa and Eddie. There is another idiom, piece of cake, which means easy, and they gave you the clue already here. They laughed and threw snowballs too. Mrs. Sanchez was grateful for their help. It means she was thankful for their help. Gracias, she said, and gave Mama milk and bread from her store as thanks. Gracias means thank you. So she gave them milk and bread from the store. As Rosa and Eddie crossed the snowy street with Mama to go home, they heard a deep, familiar voice. Familiar means something that you know from, something that you recognize, or something that you know from before. So they heard a voice that they recognized. Is that my Rosa and Eddie? Papa, they shouted and ran over to him. Rosa told him breathlessly about how they helped Mr. Colon and Mrs. Sanchez. It's such a great relief and a comfort to finally be home, said Papa. I'm so proud of you for helping our neighbors. That is so nice. So in the end, Papa was able to come back home to his children, and they told him of how they helped, and he was super proud of them. I hope you liked this historical fiction, and I want you to keep in mind how we saw the mention of dates like 1947, the mention of a real event, the blizzard, which really happened. However, the characters, all of them, Rosa, Eddie, the mom, the people, the neighbors, these are all made up characters. And even the things that happened, them going to get bread and so on and so forth, these are all made up events. Okay? Okay. Now that we're done, I want you to answer the following questions in a piece of paper and then send it to your teacher. Answer the following questions. How does the weather affect the Hernandez family? How were they affected by the weather? You can even send it as a video, boys and girls. Next, how can weather affect us? So now, after you answer the question from the text, I want you to think, how can weather affect us? And also send it as a video or as a written piece in a piece of paper. Okay? Very good job. Thank you so much for listening.